Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I would like to officially welcome you to Season 3 of the Vampire Diaries watch through. You may have noticed the fasten your seatbelt sign has been turned on. I would suggest you buckle up because I have a feeling that Season 3 is going to be a bumpy ride. Once again, thank you for choosing Vlogs by Vader, and I hope you enjoy this video. We just jumped right in. Klaus can't do his own dirty work. To me, it just seems like he is just lazy. Why can't he kill people? Why does it have to be Stefan? Why is he using him like a toy? Alaric is looking really rough this season. I mean, he did just lose Jenna. We all did. But at the same time, he could probably clean it up a little bit. You know who's not looking rough, though? Jeremy. Jeremy is looking like a snack on that screen. Also, speaking of Jeremy, you're telling me that Anna and Vicky have been terrorizing him all summer and he hasn't told anybody? Poor Jeremy. It's literally all Bonnie's fault, too. So we need to acknowledge Stefan the Ripper. When that head dropped to the floor, I was like, ugh! What? Stefan? Guys, it took a long time, but I really like Tyler now. He is, so whipped by Caroline. This party, somebody was walking down the stairs, and all of a sudden it was like, dun 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 dun. Why does that play at every high school party at a TV show? Did I take too long to sing that? I'm sorry. I have a question. Jeremy was compelled to not do drugs in the first season, and him and Matt sat in this room smoking a joint.
First of all, smoking's bad.
Writers, where you at? Oh man, guys, when A Drop in the Ocean came on, my heart just broke. Woman Mayor Lockwood. We need to talk about that devious little play that she pulled on Caroline. Poor Caroline. She just gets picked on so much. When it comes to let's capture a vampire, it's always Caroline. And it's not like it's her fault. Bingo, we met a new werewolf. His name is Ray Sutton, and Stefan went all bad guy on him, and Stefan, to an extent, is kind of a hot bad guy. I knew when Woman Mayor Lockwood made that phone call, I was like, oh, it's Caroline's dad. Super predictable because it's on my bingo sheet. Bingo! Caroline's dad comes back. I'm low-key really loving Rick and Elena's dynamic that they have going on right now. I mean, both of them are grieving because everybody keeps dying. Elena has been through it more than Alaric, but it's fine. Speaking of Rick, he moved in. Rick is now taking care of Elena and Jeremy, so bingo! Super predictable again. So many things are just super predictable right now. I feel like the writers might be getting lazy this season. It's a little early on to speak, but we ended this episode with Anna saying, don't trust Vicky because Vicky's like, I can come back. What? Vicky, you can't come back. Guys, Kathy's back. We love Kathy. We got this whole Stefan the Ripper storyline. And for a minute I was like, are they trying to suggest that Jack the Ripper was actually Stefan? But that took place in London. Stefan's took place in Chicago. He was the American version. I noticed this in episode 1 as well. Caroline is technically the owner of Stefan and Damon's house, right? Or did something happen in the background that we aren't aware of? Because as far as I know, she is the one that technically owns the house. She's on the title. Now, with her parents passing and her now being 18, I would assume that the house is now in her name. Which means that if the ownership was transferred from Jenna to Elena, the vampires need permission to come into her house. Right? As well, vampires need permission to go into Stefan and Damon's house. Because I feel like it would have been important information for us to know that she signed it back to them. I'm going to keep paying attention to it because I'm a little bit lost. I didn't understand this whole stepping into people's house thing. Then I thought, okay, maybe I get it. And now I'm confused again. These people aren't being invited in. There's logistics behind it that I don't understand. The vampire dungeon that Caroline gets locked in and then her dad tortures her. Remember the episode called Daddy Issues? It was definitely about Caroline. I'm actually not here for the entirety of the Klaus storyline. Oh, bingo, we did meet another original, Rebecca. Klaus's sister. Rebecca. Becca. Becca! You guys know Pitch Perfect? I need to go back to this. My heart was just broken for Caroline this episode. Like, she just wants her dad's love, and he doesn't want to give it to her. I feel like I'm going to be a big Rebecca fan, but I don't know yet. And then bingo, Stefan and Elena broke up. So, and I think this one's for real right now. So, I'm going to call it right now. Stefan and Elena right now are for sure broken up. I kind of feel like Kathy is rejoining the storyline officially, and I do love that. I really love that. I'd like to see more of her on the screen because we don't get enough Elena already. We may as well have double of her. I'm just being silly. I like how Catherine's kind of just being a baddie lately. Like, she's kind of just Team Catherine, but she's also kind of team main characters. Like, she's on the right side right now. I think we were actually in Chicago. CW, hiking up that budget. One Tree Hill might not have gotten a good budget, but Vampire Diaries did. The Klaus-Stefan bromance in this was actually kind of cute. Especially, like, the dress shopping scene. We do have another bingo. Kathy, she helped in any capacity, and I'm so happy for that. I mean, she literally stabbed somebody for Stefan. A witch, which is great. She stabbed a witch. She took one witch out, saved Stefan's life. Way to go, Kathy. Gold star. When Caroline said to her dad, "I'll be okay," and he said, "You're a vampire, sweetheart. I don't think you'll ever be okay." Talk about your dad saying, "I'm never going to accept you." That's what he said, essentially, if you read between the lines. Bingo, we had a founders party. When isn't there a founders party? It was basically a free space. And I'm still noticing a lot of flaws in the housing situation. I need help understanding this. I'm gonna go watch another episode. I'll be right back. This episode started and Matt heard a scary noise and then just followed it. I'm like, Matt, at least bring a weapon. You're just gonna go down there with your fists? Matt can be really absent-minded sometimes, so it is what it is. I kind of got Matt and Bonnie vibes here, and I don't really know how I feel about it, because I just feel bad for Matt all the time. He's been through so much. Matt jumping in the pool with a 25-pound weight, first off, that boy is very muscular, and he doesn't even need a weight. He's gonna sink right to the bottom. His muscle mass index, off the charts. Very, very toned man. Could he not have waited for Bonnie to get there? Bonnie could have watched him drown, jumped in, saved him, and then that way we wouldn't have risked Bonnie not saving him. Her CPR, very in question. I just took the course less than a week ago, and I passed. Thank you for asking. But there's no way she was doing CPR properly. I can confirm that. After all of this, I don't see Stefan and Elena working out. And maybe they're gonna get back together at the end of this season or next season. I just don't think there's any way they can recover from what's been going on to Stefan this season. He's gone nuts. At the end of the episode, Damon just walks into the hospital, picks Elena up, walks out carrying her. You know, never in my life have I seen someone just walk into a hospital and carry someone out and not be stopped or questioned in any capacity. You know, everything about this show is very realistic, and I think we need to start acknowledging when things are unrealistic, and him carrying her out of the hospital, that was unrealistic. Bingo, Caroline and Matt, I don't know if they've officially said it, but, like, I think we can all agree that they are dating, officially. So, that's happening. And overall, I'm just not a huge fan of this whole dead people storyline. How did Rebecca walk into Stefan and Damon's house, or as Damon referred to her as Barbie Klaus, without being invited in? Matt and Vicky have a very alternative relationship for being brother and sister. We got to see Tyler playing football. He wasn't in a football jersey, but he was playing football. Tyler is spired, is what they called it. Like, is that like a baby duck imprinting on the first thing that holds it? Is that what Tyler's doing? Tyler's a baby duck for Klaus? Jealous girlfriend does not look good on Bonnie. Vicky, this whole episode was just so selfish. And I think this is the last time we're going to see Vicky. It's hard to think that our last memory is going to be her as this, like, conniving and diabolical person. Ghost. So that kind of stinks, because I really liked Vicky. Now I'm kind of like, girl, go go back. Damon and Rebecca could be kind of cutie pie. How does nobody at this party think like, wow, Stefan's being really creepy staring at Elena like this? And also, Vicky walks by and like nobody can see Vicky, right? But she picks up a joint. Does nobody see a floating joint? How does it work? Tyler 100% love bombed Caroline this episode. And I didn't love that. I recently just started liking Tyler in this episode. I really am not a fan of Tyler now. Alaric said to Elena, "You look, not sober." Great job on the parenting, Alaric. You're doing awesome. And this episode ends with cute Uncle Mason. He's back now. I don't understand what's even going on anymore. Like, this is just absurd. Sorry if everybody's a fan of this, but I'm not. I'm assuming when Bonnie said there'd be consequences for bringing Jeremy back, that this was the consequences? Opening some sort of ghost portal to the other side? I don't even know what's happening anymore. This is getting so out of hand. Like, we start this episode off with cute Uncle Mason literally tormenting Damon and torturing him. And then Damon just comes into the bar and he's like, "I think Uncle Mason is tormenting me." And I'm like, how is that your first assumption? Like, this is all just getting so, I don't even know. The other side storyline, I'm really just annoyed by it at this point. I bet you it's gonna last like all 8 seasons, and I don't care for it. I don't really want to watch this. Like, there are people who are alive, there are people that died, and I don't need to see the people that died again because they're on the other side. The only other side that I know of involves Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron. We're going to the other side. And that was great. That was wonderful. The whole Jeremy Anna storyline, it's giving me Izzy and Denny Duquette vibes from Grey's Anatomy. And then he kissed her. She's a ghost. Like, Jeremy was on my good list. Now he's a cheater. And I can't comprehend that right now. Jeremy's supposed to be a good one. I'm happy he let go of Anna. I'm really happy with that Anna Pearl reunion at the very end. I think that was super cute. That was the only positive part of Anna in this entire episode. Lexi came back though, and I was really happy to see Lexi. I like Lexi. She was a baddie this episode. Like, she came in there and was like, "Stefan, stab him." Casual. She had no sympathy for him. She was just so, like, straight up. And I enjoyed it. The stupid necklace just keeps coming back. I don't care. I do not care. The Lockwoods have an unnecessary number of hidden dungeons and tunnels. This whole episode was really dumb. I know Rick saw that, like, writing on the wall. It's a good thing he's a history teacher because he can probably decipher all of it. I'm very hesitant to watch the next one, actually. I was in the middle of filming and my dad walks into the room and he's like, "I need the sheets off the bed so I can wash them." I'm vlogging, Dad. We got a Rebecca backstory this episode, and I actually loved getting it from Rebecca. I think Rebecca is the only original that we can, to an extent, trust. I don't think any of them are trustworthy, but I like Rebecca. I'm not sure we've met all of them, though, because I thought there were, like, 4 or 5 coffins. That means that Elijah is in one of them. Who's in the other ones? For some reason, my brain is telling me that there were 6 of them total, because Henrik, one of their brothers, died because of a werewolf. Yeah, Michael, I kind of had a feeling. I don't know if I mentioned it in the vlogs, and if I didn't, then it's like, you might not believe me. But I was pretty confident that Michael was Klaus's stepdad. There was no shock for me there. But what I was shocked at was that the original witch was their mom. I had no idea. I didn't see it coming. I feel bad for Rebecca. Like, she wants to be loved, and that's it. She's not getting that love from Klaus, or Stefan, or anybody for that matter. This is the first conversation she's had with somebody that's genuine, and it's with Elena, who is basically, like, just ready to stab her in the back. Damon laying in Elena's bed at the end, and she just went to sleep. She didn't tell him to go home. This romance started a long time ago, but I'm just wondering, like, it's gonna happen. So when is it gonna happen? Whole Stefan Damon at this bar, like, I don't know what was happening. like Coyote Ugly, like Damon, Stefan, Callie. Those are the vibes I got. Damon's one-liners in this were really funny. I did write them down. They were in the tunnels, and Damon said, "It's the Lockwood Diaries Pictionary style." Good writing. And then he also said, when he broke Stefan out of the jail cell or whatever, he said, "It's family day at Vampire Rehab." Guys, I think I officially like Damon for real. Like, I think he's funny. He just keeps it real, and I'm a fan. I watched 2 in a row, but we're just gonna go over each one. Elena was wild in this episode. She has now stabbed 3 originals. Why is Elena the only one stabbing these originals? Rebecca was being so vulnerable with her. And I understand that the storyline was somebody needs to remove their humanity, and it was Elena. But guys, my heart broke for Rebecca during this story time. She's like, "I've never been to a high school dance." And she's like all nervous about it. And then Elena's like, "You're missing one thing, the necklace." And then she stabs her in the back. Literally. She literally stabs her in the back. And it's with Elena, who is basically just ready to stab her in the back. I was so mad at Elena. I was like, what? I understand there's an agenda, but this poor girl just wants to go to a homecoming. The episode was called Homecoming, and I realized it was unconventional, but bingo, they had homecoming. Back to Rebecca, though. That was so crazy. This one hurt me. It hurt me a little bit. I'm really sick of this whole sired storyline with Tyler. I understand he can't help it, but could he not, I don't even know. Can't he do, brain training or something to stop being sired? There's gotta be a way out of it, right? It's really affecting his relationship with Caroline. And I'm just really tired of it. Tyler was a good person before this whole crap started. None of their plans ever work. I don't know why they thought this one would. Stefan's little Uno reverse card there was crazy. Stefan's character arc was going up, and then all of a sudden it dropped, and now I'm like, hey, is it gonna build back up at all, or is he just gonna be this annoying bad guy he's really good at playing this bad guy, by the way. He's Paul Wesley, is that his name? Paul Wesley, good for you. To quote Caroline, "Matt is an innocent, good person who should not be going to dances with evil blood sluts." First of all, Rebecca is not an evil blood slut. She's just a girl. And also, Matt looked good this episode. But when doesn't Matt look good? He always looks good. And I watched this episode, so let's just jump right into it. Jeremy. This entire episode felt like it needed to be about Jeremy, and that's all we need to talk about right now. Whatever was going on there, I don't love that Tyler just was manipulating him. I don't love that Klaus was compelling him. I don't love that Jeremy is just this sweet, innocent guy. To an extent, he did cheat one time with a ghost. Just this sweet guy who has now been roped into all of this, and he didn't ask for it. We did get confirmation this episode that him and Bonnie broke up, so that's a bingo. We did feel like it was gonna happen. I don't know, they didn't really talk about it, so it's official. Man, he just had a tough episode. And then the fact that he shot, what is it, Todd or Tony? Tony. He shot Tony in the back and then decapitated Tony? That was nuts! So casually grabbed the meat knife and just decapitated him like he had done it before. And so now that we're sending him away, I'm gonna miss Jeremy. I do understand that it's for the best. I really, really am gonna miss Jeremy, and I think we'll get to see him again at some point. Tori DeVito was in this episode as one of the Fells, like Logan Fell's cousin or sister or something. Crazy Nanny Carrie. Tori DeVito. She is so good at playing the bad guy. We got another Damon and Elena kiss. I just really am starting to like Damon. I never thought this day would come. The writers really want us to hate Stefan and really want us to like Damon, and they're doing a very good job. I just want to see what happens. Well, we had a weird start to this episode. It was just like the shot of Damon in the shower. And then Elena boxing. Clearly they dealt with that kiss separately and on their own terms. Damon sure did look sexy though. Klaus and his family have this like massive mansion that they're living in, and he's renovating or something. And Stefan came in and got blood splatter on the ground, and he's in the middle of renovations. You know how hard that's going to be to clean up?
How rude.
Tyler biting Caroline. That's got to be his last straw. He's got to be looking for a way out of this sire now. She did nothing to him. I'm so sick of this sire storyline. Like, let's go find somebody to fix it. Caroline's dad, maybe? He's got like that mind thing where he can fight compulsion. Maybe he can fight sire. That car incident with Stefan was wild. There is no way that Elena and Stefan can recover from this. If they get back together, they just can't. They won't last. There's no way. This is a gong show right now. But after that car scene, I did make a note of this. The symbolism of him, he was standing there and he had light on this half of his face and he had no light here. And I was like, Two-Face. He's two-faced right now. Whether it was intentional or not, and I can guarantee it was intentional, for people who noticed it, it was really cool. Matt is such a good guy for Elena. I almost just wish that Matt and Elena would get back together because he's such a nice guy. And maybe he's not going to be in the future, but right now he's a great guy. Klaus and Caroline. That was, out of all the storylines they could have given Caroline, it was all about her self-worth. They couldn't have done a little bit better than that. And then Klaus has to save the day. Happy birthday, Caroline.